Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the newest comic duo, Davis, a dabbler in many disciplines with a voice that can soothe and persuade. Mike, a fanatical specialist with a mouth like a bullhorn, fueled by strong opinions and a compulsion to share them, with microphones and comics in hand. They are Jacks of Trades.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike.
And I'm Davis.
And this is Drinking Issues. On Drinking Issues, we talk about a current comic arc and pair it with a lovely alcohol. Today, as you know, we are doing Champions. So, last month should have been Champions 5.
Yep.
Problem is, our lovely producer, Greg, with In-Depth Media,
Lost Mike's audio file, which it is the more structured, less sporadic.
I'm going to argue more important.
Whether
or not that's true,
I'd give it a nice 49 on that one.
That's less than half.
Yeah, I know. Mine's still 49. 2%'s Greg. So we're doing Champions number 5 as well as Champions number 6, because just like how the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ends every single season, we're going to have a nice 2-hour long final episode.
God, I hope not.
Just kidding. We're not aiming for that long. We don't want to discuss. If you've listened to the been previously about Drinking Issues, we don't want to discuss these comics too long. But yes,
we're shooting for an hour, guys. We'll see what happens. But you do get an extra large extra-sode because we, as a collective unit at Jacks of Trades, messed up last month.
Yes, and who knows? Some of that lost footage might be found and resurfaced because apparently I went on a really good socially topical rant.
Well, here's the thing.
But I don't remember it.
Okay, so Davis was very drunk at the time. And he just kind of off the cuff did this great explanation of his feelings and his understanding of the book, number 5. He's got no recollection.
No, not at all.
But if anybody has seen any kind of crime show where they try to do that sensory recreation, where it's like, okay, we're going to sit you in this room because it's like the room you were in. And was there a candle lit? Oh, here's some vanilla flavor.
Were you wearing sweatpants?
Let's put some sweatpants. Like, we're going to try and sense memory, Davis, by getting drunk again. So see if he can't just get back into that vein. Just slide right back into that line and just re-deliver this beautiful speech that he had. So, on that note, talking about getting Davis drunk.
All right.
Davis, what did you bring for the Champions 5 and 6 extra? Now, keep in mind, guys, this is the last issue of Champions.
Yes.
Next month, we start a brand new comic.
Yep.
Brand new
whole
comic.
new arc. Brand new thing. So
we have to go with a bang here. So, Davis, what'd you bring?
With this final issue, I love beer. So I got a beer that I've been horribly cellaring since 2015.
Describe horribly cellaring.
For a while, it was in my beer fridge that I had, which was set at a constant 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Does that go to bed?
That for cellaring this, perfect, good. No light, perfect temperature to where like it's not really the temperature doesn't really affect beer so much and like a lot in cellaring, but you want to keep it at a constant temperature.
There's not a lot of fluctuation.
Yes, to where it even says drink fresh or age at cellar temperature, and that's 55 degrees Fahrenheit or below. So I had it aging for a couple of months then. And then I moved in my new place, and it got warm, and then I left it on kind of like a shelf wine rack. Not the point. But it is the 2015 Stone Farking Wheaton Woot Stout. It is 13% alcohol by volume. It is a collaboration between the Stone Brewery, the website Fark, and Will Wheaton, the guy from, Star Trek and the guy they make fun of on Big Bang Theory all the time.
That nerd guy?
Yeah, that nerd guy. So, just like Champions, this is something I've been looking forward to for a minute, and it has not been done properly until this time. So, I'm going to see it and see whether or not it's going to be good at the end of the whole thing. And I'm about to take my first sip of the Stone Farking Wheat and Woot Stout. Oh, that's strong. That is a...
Is it a good strong or like a you didn't do something right strong?
It's a good strong because it's nice and chocolatey. But I haven't eaten since like noon today. And that was mostly chicken and couscous. So I'm probably going to get Taco Bell on the way home.
I'm gonna taste this thing.
Go right ahead.
Oh, I really don't like that.
It's thick.
As I've told Davis numerous times, I am not a good beer drinker.
Mike's favorite beer is a Mexican-style chilada with salt, lime, and jalapeno.
It's delicious.
Okay.
Give me a Corona or a Land Shark. I'm happy. I really am. I would like to be more sophisticated and cooler. I'm not.
The lowest I will go for you is Pacifico.
I can drink Pacifico. I like Pacifico.
Well, then I'll
buy. It
goes
great on Taco Tuesday, which we're not doing appropriately right now. You want to know what I brought, Davis?
So every week, Mike himself just surprises me, whatever alcohol he brings. And he's had this at work the entire time today. Mike, what did you bring?
So, I'm not near the microphone at the moment, so I'm going to yell a little bit. Davis, what did I just give you?
Mike just gave me a shallow champagne glass, which I had the same idea, I think. Oh, Mike has a wonderful foil-wrapped green bottle. It looks to be a metal cage over what looks like a cork. What does that say on there? Simone?
Simone. It's a sparkling brut. I'm not springing for champagne, but this calls for a celebration. Champions is over. I'm going to enjoy myself a little bit.
Actually, it's either Simone or pronounced Simonette.
I'm going Simone, personally. I'm no French expert, but always pour your guest first.
Now, Mike, where did you learn proper wine pouring and wine etiquette?
Tell him, Davis.
Mike used to work at Dickie Brennan's Steakhouse. The only story I know about Mike working at Dickie Brennan's Steakhouse, aside from him working his way up from water boy to wine bitch, was he served not only Solange Knowles at a table, but also Mr. Ludacris himself.
Cheers, Davis.
Let's not hold it over the recording equipment. They're plastic, so there is no clink.
Tastes like cheap sparkling wine to me.
Oh, that is brute. Brute. Oh, am I right?
It was very cheap. So, anyway.
All right. So,
extra-sode. 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 Champions 5, also known as Gwenpians.
Because the stage enters with a flaming mosque.
That's not why it's called Gwenpians, Davis.
Well, it's called Gwenpians because Gwenpool is ripping through the front cover with a katana or two in this booty shorts. Yeah. There's a lot of really weird booty shorts in here, and like this kind of like side jaw little.
Okay.
Happening.
Quick rundown. History of Gwenpool. Gwenpool started as a combination of Gwen Stacy and Deadpool as a variant cover for Deadpool's Secret Wars #2. Now, Deadpool's Secret Wars was a mini-series spun off years and years later from the 80s event Secret Wars, where Deadpool, a la Forrest Gump, plays an integral role in the background of the entire Marvel event of Secret Wars.
It kind of reminds me of the fact that Booster Gold in DC, apparently Booster Gold himself, even though everyone reveres him as like kind of shitty superhero, he has been the driving force and catalyst for every DC event.
Yeah, because he is from the future. He knows everything.
Right.
So, due to cosplay popularity, Marvel spun out Gwenpool into her own series.
Yes.
Her name's Gwendolyn Poole.
With an E on the end, right?
Yes, Polle. She is from an Earth where comic books exist.
So from our universe.
Pretty much. So in her Earth, she is reading the same comic books we are. And somehow, I didn't research hard enough because I don't care about this character. She was transported to Earth 616, which is the Earth of the Marvel Universe. She wants to be a badass superhero like her favorite comic characters, but she has no real powers. Except for the fact that she knows she's in a comic book.
Yeah, and then it's a weird, like, mental manipulation of reality.
Yeah, pretty much. So she is indestructible-ish, kind of like Wile E. Coyote. But it's because she can manipulate the fact that she's in a comic. She also has a vast knowledge of the Marvel Universe, and she trained in weapons and hand-to-hand combat from a bunch of supervillains, which was pretty much her first arc.
Right.
So anyway, she is infiltrated her way into this issue. Now to the issue. The champions find themselves in Daly County.
Right, and which, the only real thing I'd say is, why does champagne make my nipples hard?
Because it's sexy.
That's a good point. But they're in Daly County right now, and the background there is a burning mosque.
Yeah, Daly County is under the jurisdiction of a racist, sexist, classist, homophobic bigot of a sheriff, Sheriff Studdard.
You know what's really funny is the fact that Ruben Studdard won American Idol.
I mean, it's coincidental.
Okay.
Yeah, so hate crimes have become abundant in the county since the sheriff won the seat in the local election.
Right.
Davis, can you find that list of hate crimes?
This mosque fire, the shots fired into a homeless encampment, the beatings outside of a gay club, the swastika sprayed on the temple, the noose in front of the black church. Shall we go on? It's a long list.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. Now, the sheriff is stopping the rest of the rescue workers from stepping in. So the champions run in and they pull...
because he doesn't want to hurt the smoke eaters that are going through there. He doesn't want to put his people in danger. That's why he's not going to put them in this burning mosque. Even though there's people inside.
He doesn't want to put the firefighters, whose job it is to go into a flaming building.
Trained professionals.
Yeah. So the champions have to step in and they save a mother and her children from this burning mosque. The team clearly shows their distaste for him.
Right.
In which he responds with the classic city slickers versus country folk argument, which topical. Post presidential election this last year, it was really
all this was written before the election, correct?
Yeah, just so everybody knows, this issue is going to tie in a lot with our current political climate, and it was written well before Trump won the election. So this is not
it's not
lazy
a direct reaction.
Well, yeah, it's not a reaction. It's preemptive, and he gets a lot of points right. So whether or not you agree with them, that's on you. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying this was not reactionary.
Right.
At least it was written proactionary.
This is not an SNL sketch.
No, exactly.
Exactly. While they are talking to the sheriff about all of this, our lovely synthezoid friend Viv goes through the entire premise of this mosque and finds that, you know what? Yeah, there was an incendiary device. There's a bomb.
Yeah. Now, where is this bomb from, Davis?
This bomb was actually impounded on March 15, 2016 by the police department.
I wonder how a bomb in the possession of a bigoted sheriff could find its way into a mosque.
The answer is obvious, sir. Mole people.
It's always mole people.
It's always mole.
Damn it, Mole Man.
The Underminer? Hello?
He's actually in Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows right now.
Wait. I thought... No, he can't be.
Maybe not Underminer, but Mole Man is.
Well, no, the Underminer is from The Incredibles.
Oh, no, Mole Man.
Okay,
Mole Man himself. Anyway, so we meet Deputy Sims, who is the sheriff's deputy, and he tells the champions, look, calm down. I'm going to look into the fire, but he's not ready to challenge Sheriff Stutter's authority.
No.
Which it really isn't a very good explanation for the champions, but they get sidetracked because the unbelievable Gwenpool shows up. And what does she do?
She doesn't even show up. Nova is trying to fly off and find some, do work and whatnot. And then Gwenpool goes, bombs, bombs, bombs away.
Yeah, she blows up a bunch of cop cars.
Yeah, because she's an anarchist.
Yeah, not a good way to get on the good guy's side. But the team basically is forced to scoop her up because she's wearing a costume, so they're going to get roped into it.
Exactly.
And run off.
Well, a costume with a big champion C embroidered on the front of it.
Yeah, she's basically taken this whole "I'm a champion too" thing, along with the rest of the media has run with it. So she gets scooped up by the team because the cops draw their weapons on everybody, and she's asked, "Why would you blow up a cop car?" To which she said, "Look, all bad cops in comics are supervillains, so they might be Hydra or brainwashed or something like that,
or something weird like that."
Yeah. To which Kamala sits down and argues that bigotry and hatred can infiltrate authority without the help of villains. To which Gwenpool dismisses.
It's a thick layer of peanut butter.
Yeah, real heavy-handed there, Kamala.
Yep.
Now, the team goes around and they're looking at different cases of bigotry in the community.
And they wind up outside of an LGBTQ center.
Yeah, why are they there, Davis?
Well, someone has gone and someone's done like Martin Luther and done posted a note. And the note is, Sheriff Studdard is going to do you to people what the Sentinels did to Genosha. Believe the warden, Dale County for America. White power.
If you don't know...
Minus the white power at the end of it all, but close enough.
Well, alternately, if you don't know, Genosha was a mutant hideout, for lack of a better term.
Sovereign nation.
Yeah, and they've seen some shit.
Yeah, that's why there's no
Sentinels.
more. There's not a Genosha anymore.
Yeah, not in modern Marvel comics.
No, not at all.
And then something happens to an ethnic-looking child on a bus.
Yep, he's they're yelling out Studdard and saying he's going to deport you, all while some youths are tagging the side of a building saying "Ragheads go home."
Yeah, some real racist stuff here. So Gwen believes it's Skrulls, which is a shape-shifting alien, or hate gas, or some other comic book explanation to why this is happening. Davis, read Kamala's speech to Gwen. They had this crazy exchange back and forth about Gwen's unrealistic expectations.
How do I get through to you? Evil is not exclusive to supervillains, aliens, secret societies, and monsters.
To which Gwen says,
If I wanted to navigate the immoral shades of gray, yuck, I would have stayed on my own Earth. And if you're not interested in hate-mongering or Psycho Man or whatever space lizards are behind the scourge of super racism, then Gwenpool must face reality alone.
This is why I side with Gwenpool here. I'm not reading my comics for this heavy nonsense.
I agree. I mean, hell, delving back into it, 1980s X-Men.
Yes.
Legacy virus.
Yes.
AIDS.
Yes.
They at least put a nice little cover over it.
It was at least a veiled metaphor. The veil is so thin at this point.
In which, after, maybe not initially, but the mutant gene became a giant allegory for homosexuality in the United States.
Yeah, it did.
And it still is. I mean, hell,
well, to be
Colossus died from the legacy virus.
The mutant gene.
So why not take your biggest, burliest, most badass person, aside from Wolverine, because he has clout and has been there for a while.
He's not the biggest. Wolverine's 5'3", but he's also 300 pounds, so it's kind of confusing.
Stocky.
Yeah. What's the adamantium? It adds.
What's my name? Logan. What's my size? Shogun. That was bad. We can cut that out completely. Continue.
No,
sir.
We're leaving that one in. We've cut it a lot. We're leaving that in. So, do the right thing. The team goes to the deputy, and they're going to ask him to step in. Now, the deputy asserts that fighting head-on is not really going to help the situation. He's got to work quietly from the background, which sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. The team's not buying it, and they encourage him to stand up, but they really can't do anything else beyond that. So they just go sit up on the roof, which... Who lets a bunch of superpowered teenagers hanging on the roof of the police station?
Standing on the rooftop, everybody sing your heart out.
How is this acceptable?
First of all, it's not like it's a Beatles concert. Everyone knows they're up there.
Yeah, it's like
WTF.
a crowd. There's a crowd outside the police station who is siding with the champions, like, hey, let's stop this bigotry.
What one part of the police station is, the other part not so much. But yeah.
But there's even a comment at one point, why can't we just punch him? So, Nazi punching comment, warning-ish. Like Davis said, this was written before the election.
Right.
This was written before the neo-Nazi I don't know his name, was punched in the face on public television. This is not.
I don't know his name either.
Yeah, I think.
And I'm glad I know.
was involved.
No,
I don't know.
No. Spicer is the person involved, but no.
Spencer, I think, but I don't know. Anyway,
But no, we don't need to know their name because as soon as you give them a name, you give them clout.
Well, here's the thing. Comic book creators have come out on both sides of the issue. You punch Nazis, you don't punch Nazis. Warren Ellis punches Nazis.
Captain America punches fucking Nazis.
The writer of Captain America, that's where I got Spencer from. Nick Spencer, the writer of Captain America right now, says you do not punch somebody for speaking out, regardless of whether or not you like it. Now, I'm not saying either one of those guys is right because you're allowed to make your own damn decision.
No, I'm speaking of the fact that the first issue of Captain America, he's punching Hitler in the fucking face.
Yes.
You punch Nazis.
We could have this argument. But
we will save this for the supplemental material of Mike and I arguing the ethics of punching Nazis. But for right now, we're talking about championes.
Either way, this was written before that happened. This was not a direct response to it. So we're not going to talk about that issue in this episode.
Have you seen the so real quick fact, the alt-right is saying that Depeche Mode is the music of their people. So someone got that do Depeche Mode song and just spliced it to where anytime the Duke hits, you just see that dude getting punched in the fucking face. So they're all sitting on top of this building.
Yeah, Studdard comes into the deputy's office, Deputy Sims, and starts yelling at him.
They do not belong here. You get that robot and that Asian looking and especially that brown little sand girl out of here, unless you want me to make examples of them too. And now, which I'm only assuming that he would have a heavily Southern accent. Nothing against any other people that have that accent, because I'm very sure there are a lot of Southern people that do not have that that mindset, but it works with the story.
Here's the thing. Being a Southerner, being from Louisiana,
The
a
South.
historically red state. I live in a blue city, but in a historically red state, he sounds Southern in my mind.
Exactly.
He sounds like a Southerner in my mind.
From someone,
Daly County sounds like it's in Texas or North Louisiana or Alabama or
Daly County's in Florida.
Dade County.
They're still
Just thinking
Daly.
of.
Same thing.
Really?
Sure, why not? I've been drinking.
Now you're just making shit. Anyway,
It's fine. No, but
you
sir,
have
sir,
two
from
Southerners.
someone that has lived in 3 southern states.
All I'm saying is you have two. I'm not lumping Greg in here. Me and Davis, as Southerners, agree you can read the sheriff in a Southern accent.
Also, I don't think sheriffs in like Yankee towns have like hats like that.
The flat brim?
Yeah,
No, they don't.
I don't think they do.
So
I don't even think they have cowboy hats.
This little disciplinary action is enough to make Sims stand up. He goes outside with a megaphone and addresses the crowd about Studdard and his actions, to which the team goes, "Oh no, this is about to go off. Let's get down there and help police safely the crowd. Remember, don't punch down."
Punch up.
Yeah, they don't explicitly say which direction you should punch
No,
other
that's
than
the
not
thing.
down.
You don't punch down because you don't the person beneath you don't bring them down, and at the person at you level you punch, boom. But if you're going to berate and beat someone, you punch them up, so at least they're in a higher level.
So let's talk about the pros and cons of this issue. Pros. Social commentary. I appreciate the part where he's basically saying, look, you don't need to be a supervillain to be a piece of shit. You can be a piece of shit and be a regular person. Because we see that in modern society.
Exactly.
I get that.
I have found people driving up the wrong way of a parking lot every goddamn day.
Those people should be hung from the street lights.
It's just garbage people.
Also,
but
hate is created by a few bad seeds, but it's nourished by the lazy, by those that fall in line, by those that don't question, they don't fight back. They just let it happen, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
It really reminds me of there was a priest in Germany during World War II, and it was like, first they came for the socialists.
I think we used this reference already.
And I did not speak up.
Before this episode. Then they came for
the trade unionists.
I'm pretty sure.
And I did not speak up. And when it comes down to it after that, then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.
If we have not already used this,
we already have. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. You're right, though, is that there's a few bad seeds in every society, and those around have to stand up. They can't be lazy.
Right. And it's the bad seeds that get the most amount of publicity.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the don't punch down part, I get. It's the not standard superhero story. It's the don't use your powers to implement what you believe is right. Use your influence to do that.
Right.
Now, cons. Was this heavy-handed? Just dead horse beaten.
It's beating into the fucking ground.
It's
like, I get it. I honestly get it. We're dealing with, you're typical southern small town sheriff. You know, I don't like the queers. I don't like them people that have non-white skin color, and I don't like people that aren't Christian. That includes the Jews and whatnot. Going with this typical Southern sheriff. And we don't need that typical Southern sheriff. And like that trope has been played out. I guarantee you go to any small town around the area, I don't think the majority of the people there are being like, well, hold on. There's one Muslim family here. Let's keep an eye on them. They could be disrupting our sorghum production.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe we are wrong in this, but as two Southern men, when we are reading this sheriff as a Southern male with a stereotypical accent, living in a stereotypical small town, that is a direct response to the media's portrayal.
Yep.
And you're buying into that. You're playing into that. As the author, you are playing into that stereotype that the rest of America knows of the bigoted Southern sheriff. This is the same thing as what was that rock movie? Dwayne Johnson was in some mediocre
Walking Tall.
It was Walking Tall.
All right, now here's just going on a less of a, that's not an obscure movie, but going more of a more topical one for right now. Bill Burr's most recent special.
Go on.
He had one where he made a...
Folks, we don't just like comics, we like comedians. Bill Burr, Leave Out the Back, I believe it's called.
I think it's the most... Yeah,
Exit Out the Back, Leave Out the Back.
Yeah,
it's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's amazing.
Whichever one came out in 2017.
If you appreciate the craft of comedy, it is a comedian losing and gaining the audience multiple times. You can watch a master at work. It's wonderful.
Well, one of the times he lost the crowd was whenever he delved into his typical Southern accent, talking about, oh yeah, no, I don't like them blacks. I don't like them gays. I don't like them that. In which he stopped himself and he's like, Jesus shit, really? Like, here I am talking about all racists from the South. No, not at all. They're racist all across the United States of America. And it's just, he just happens to pick that one because it's the lowest hanging fruit. Because, well, that there was partially one of the reasons for a war was fought for that reason.
Yeah. It's real heavy-handed. It's real repetitious. There's no nuance.
No.
As a comic book reader, I enjoy metaphor. I enjoy escapism. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Don't just shove it down my throat. Give me a metaphor, at least a thinly veiled metaphor. There's no metaphor here. It's so in your face. It's hard. I get enough of this in the news. I get enough of this on Facebook from my shit friends with their terrible opinions. I don't want this in my comic books.
Exactly. But that's the thing. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, but vodka works better.
The only positive of this story, in my opinion, is Gwenpool. And I hate to say that because I don't like Gwenpool. But she's the only one saying supervillains should be doing this in a comic.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Like and the point is we're looking at this thing, you're just lumping people into categories in which it's like, oh, this is this person based upon previous knowledge we have, and this is this person based on previous knowledge we have. And you're just lumping these people together and trying to assimilate them together, in which they're not. We're dealing with a new beast every single decade, every single 5 years, every single year. We are dealing with a new fucking beast.
Davis brings up a great point. It's stereotyping. Just like the author is rallying against, it is stereotyping on the opposing side.
Exactly.
And it's not done well. It's not done nuanced. It's just very heavy-handed. It's very aggressive. It does no justice for the story.
Not at all.
So before we talk too long about this, let's rate issue 5 so we can jump into issue 6.
I forgot what my rating was the last time, so I'm just going to bluntly say a 4.
That's what I gave it. I gave it a 4. It was not an outrageously fun issue. Gwenpool was actually mildly entertaining, but the rest of it was kind of aggressive. It was too heavy-handed. It wasn't fun. He tried something different, but I didn't like it.
Well, do you think Gwenpool was added in here as kind of like them being like, listen, we're going to get preachy, so we might as well add a little fuckiness into the whole thing?
I think Gwenpool was added entirely to boost sales. This book sold very well issue 1 because they gave they sold a lot of it, quote unquote, to Scholastica, who could sell it at their book fairs. And I don't think
goddamn book fairs.
I don't think issue 2, 3, or 4 did well, so I think issue 5 was entirely to boost it. Bonus issue.
Wham, 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 wham.
So we originally told you this was a 6-issue arc.
We thought it was. Amazon said it was 6 issues.
And most of them are. Now, Marvel updated the solicitation for their trade, and it goes to 5. So you get a brand new bonus 6 issue to start the first arc. Now,
bwamp, bwamp, bwamp.
I'm going to say,
bwamp.
For the listener, I don't know if this is the first of a new story or if this is the cliffhanger ending of an old story, because that's how confusingly it's written.
Yeah, I can't lie that.
So we get the rise of the champions. It shows a bunch of people with C's on their shirt.
The first actual panel is someone wearing a really nice brown leather jacket with a fur collar with a big champion C on it.
Yeah, we have people cleaning up beaches in Alaska. We have a voter registration rally in Alabama. A women's self-defense class in England. A Habitat for Humanity in Slovakia. Everybody's wearing C shirts, doing productive stuff for society. Good for you. Good for the champions if you caused that.
Good for everyone. And here's the thing. Whenever you yourself, you're a part of an organization that is just helping out people throughout the world. Like, do you know how hard it is to help out people in the United States as far as an organization? Habitat for Humanity hasn't been able to accomplish that throughout the entire United States. But we have an entire organization that's helping people throughout the world. What's the next thing you need to do as far as getting your organization going?
You go play paintball.
Yeah, you play fucking paintball.
I will say the one point that I do like is Hulk noting that trends ebb and flow, and that he suspects the champion's name will be, for lack of a better term, Mud, in short. They got a couple more weeks before this whole media backlash kicks in.
May Yamo Mud.
But as you said, war never changes. The champions go to play paintball. Where do they go to play paintball, Davis?
At a standard paintball place?
Howling Commandos paintball. You get the reference, Davis?
Yeah.
We're-
Dumb.
We're a comic based in the rest of the world that you enjoy. We're not that offshoot you don't like. We also have a picture of the Avengers and Captain America in the background of the changing room. Because you like those things, right? Please associate our comic with things you like.
Yeah. There's a Pepsi machine, too.
So the team's split into two, and they decide to play with powers because that seems fair.
Yep.
Through some bait and switch, Sam Alexander, Kid Nova, snags the win.
Yeah.
So what happens?
In which there's a random panel in which it's a random panel in which there is Groot, Rocket Raccoon.
That's an advertisement, Davis. So Sam gets his team together, one of them being Amadeus, who basically baits Scott, Cyclops, into shooting him with his laser eyes. Now, after sacrificing himself, Amadeus slinks back into hiding because he hasn't been hit with a paintball.
Hulk.
Which are the rules of paintball. Now, everybody's pretty much out of the game. Nova sacrificed himself. Amadeus jumps out and shoots the last guy on the opposing team, winning it for Sam and his team. Now, question, Davis. Have you read or watched Ender's Game?
I read it, and then I barely listened to...
Because there's a real strong commentary about how horrific it is to expend soldiers for the sake of the greater good, which is basically when both sides lose everyone except for one man who wins. That's the book. Like, if you read or watched Ender's Game, that's the entire thing. Is they basically train a child to devalue life far enough to sacrifice lives to win a battle.
Sir, my grandfather was going to be in the invasion of Japan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You think the champions would have been on with that?
Well, no. They gave them enough fuel to get to Japan, and that's it.
Exactly my point. My point is, this doesn't make sense for the champions. Why would you be performing a training exercise where everyone dies but one?
Foreshadowing?
I hope.
I don't, because I like Kamala.
Maybe she's the one.
She needs to be... We need that influence. But continue.
I'm just saying...
But then Vision shows up, murks everyone, and says, Viv, it's 5 o'clock. Are you ready to go home?
Did this panel make any sense to you?
A little bit.
Why? When have the champions had a curfew? When they were fucking with international politics and flying over sovereign Atlantean territory?
When does logic involving people make sense to a robot?
Vision is an Avenger.
Now, he
follows human rules.
But he is a synthezoid, just like his daughter.
Follows human rules.
He is a robot. Robot time. Robot dance.
This panel makes...
Robot lies!
This panel makes no sense, and I will stand by that.
That's fine. Now...
we meet the Freelancers. I did some research.
Jesus.
So, every good superhero team needs their villain team.
Right, because, we have the Justice League, so we have the Legion of Doom.
We have the Masters of Evil opposite the Avengers.
Yes. We have Spider-Man, and we have the Sinister Six.
We have the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants opposite the X-Men. And we have the Freelancers opposite the Champions. Now, get ready for the team. We have...
Get Get ready for the team, yeah, now. Here's the team now.
I feel like that was some of the bigotry that we're talking about in issue 5.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The dude.
Hold on. Let me.
There's a guy wearing a silk screen Hot Topic flame shirt.
Your drunk ass will shut up, my drunk ass will explain what's going on here. We have Crush, who is a female, for lack of a better term, earthbender. If you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, she can manipulate Earth like Richter from the X-Men. And she's wearing overall shorts. It's a weird costume choice. We have Might. Her powers are strength and durability. She looks like Michael Bay made a Dragon Ball movie.
Dragon, Pump the Dragon, Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, she did this weird like Robo Saiyan silver armor stuff. We have Hotness, who is officially also known as Guy Fiery.
Shut the fuck up.
That's a real term.
He's wearing a Hot Topic silk flame t-shirt.
No. It's not a t-shirt.
Sorry,
it is a short sleeve
shirt
button down
with puka shells and red cargo shorts, in which the last time I heard, the last person that got laid in cargo shorts was Nam.
He's pyrokinetic, guys. We also have Panic. Her power is she can manipulate human emotion. And then we have Cursed Cass. She's a blue-haired hipster goth who's pretty much invulnerable. That's the Freelancers.
Which I will say this though, looking at the fact that before we get anything going, is they have a clandestine kind of just group of people around a boardroom table.
Here's the thing. They are hired by corporations, pretty much, to do morally questionable things for a paycheck. We see them violently breaking up a protest. We see them burning down a squatters camp. Pretty much anything for the right amount of money. They don't care.
Right. In which, again, looking at it, oh, look, it's the moral opposite and whatnot.
Yeah, we see them using their powers in their private, real-world-esque mansion by the pool to trick two homeless guys into fighting each other.
Not having sex with each other.
Yeah, at least they do that. It's still a teen comic. When the homeless guys come to their senses, they basically ask, "What kind of monsters are you?" To which the Freelancers state, "We're the Freelancers. Punching down is what we do."
The exact opposite of punching up.
I'm going to stop everything right here. Nobody says punching down. I'm so tired of Mark Waid pretending this is...
Well, she says right there, punching down is what we do.
Nobody but Mark Waid's character says this. This is not a phrase people use.
It is now.
This is... Only Mark Waid uses this phrase.
What happens in the last panel of the book? When they say, quote unquote, "Holy crap, buddy. Your friend there looks like he's been a couple of rounds with somebody. You here to file a complaint?"
The two homeless guys go to the cops, and basically Panic, the one that can manipulate human emotion, has put a little earworm in their ear so that they tell the cops the champions made him do it, which is the beginning of Amadeus's Fallout claim.
Amadeus.
I'm not... Nope.
Amadeus.
Pros and cons, Davis. Paintball. I loved it. I love those... Just like issue 2 with the camping.
Well,
I love
it's
those
skirmish.
Fun issue.
It's a skirmish.
I love the interaction. I didn't love the win. The whole point is to be better, and when your win is sacrificing everyone but one character, that's not a win. That's not the win you're describing.
Well, could you describe it, or could you, infer that your one main reason behind liking this whole thing is because you enjoy more of the different people from different social constructs and different ideologies and different backgrounds all having to work together, but in which everything we've seen, they're never accomplishing a common goal as far as the group goes, but as far as the individual goes.
Here's my thing. What this says is I can't wait for April when my classic X-Men start back up. I'm so excited for X-Men Gold. I don't really care about Blue, but I just want the classic. We are friends interacting. We have romance. We have drama. We have problems. I love that comic book soap opera.
Okay.
Which
so
is why
90s X-Men.
And say what you will, I grew up on 90s X-Men. I love Rob Liefeld art. I don't care. I know it's ridiculous looking, but it's fun. It's nostalgic. It's what I grew up on. I love old Logan. I love old Cable. I love Gambit. I love Gambit. I love Rogue. I love those characters from the 90s that really came into their own. And that's the kind of X-Men, that's the kind of heroes I want to read. And that's what issue 2 at the camp did to me. That's what the paintball did for me. That's what I enjoy.
So you're really looking for the human in the superhuman.
Yes. I want the superhuman to be a piece of the human.
Okay.
That's what I like. Now the cons for me is every other moment in this issue.
Okay.
The Freelancers are the logical antithesis to this team.
Well, logic, yeah. If we're basing it down to this, good versus
evil. It almost seems lazy.
It is lazy. It's goddamn... All right, first of all, if you're going to... All right, one of the scenes we didn't talk about is they have two homeless people. One, he's motivated by fear, and one, he's motivated by, not love, but like just...
Lust,
I guess.
I don't know.
Wanting to fuck, in which, like, I'm not going to lie to y'all, because you're good people, and you listen to this. If someone has a knife to my neck and said, hey, you have to kill this person, or... you have to fuck this person. Well, no matter what, I'm probably going to get my dick wet because that does not involve killing someone.
I don't know if we read the scene the same way. Still, it was a bad scene. The take-home point here is the Freelancers are the logical opposite of the Champions.
Right. They're in it for the money, not for the glory.
Here's the problem. The Champions aren't a good team.
Now.
So why would the Freelancers be a good team? Neither one is compelling. Neither one has depth. They're both very shallow in their description. I mean, I don't appreciate that.
Let's think.
It doesn't speak to me. It does not resonate with me. Is this shallow character?
But wouldn't that, in theory, lead to a Champions Freelancers hybrid? In which half the Champions go one way and half the Freelancers go the other way.
No, because in Champions Monsters Unleashed, whatever point.
Boo!
First of all, that is listed as per the Marvel Wikipedia, the first appearance of the Freelancers, which is incorrect. But second of all, the Freelancers get defeated because they're the weaker team, and two of the Freelancers defect to help the Champions, which is really going to fuck this arc now, isn't it? But regardless,
Well, hold on. Fuck this arc in the sense that we're not reading it anymore.
It doesn't... No. Fuck the arc as in if they already beat themselves in the Monsters Unleashed, doesn't matter in this arc. But the first team, the Champions, they're not entertaining. So why would their counterparts be? They're not serious enough to be cool, and they're not goofy enough to be tongue-in-cheek. They're just in this weird middle area of unentertaining. Like, it's just not fun. It's not really conveying any kind of story. It's just the opposite of a story we didn't ask for.
All right.
Let's just jump to ratings. I don't want to beat this the same way Mark Waid has. I'm going 2 on this issue.
Really?
I hated it.
Really?
The only saving grace was 3/4 of the paintball, and they ruined it at the end. I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. They ruined the only fun part. The freelancers are stupid. I don't care anymore.
Now,
I gave it a 2. My final vote on this: 6 on issue 1, 9 issue 2, 5 issue 3, 3 issue 4, 4 issue 5, and 2 issue 6 averages out to a 4.8. That's not even a half. Not a good. The story is slow and directionless until 6, and then at 6 they give it direction, and the direction's poor. The themes, they're preaching to the choir. It's not reaching an audience that would benefit from it. Everybody reading this book would already read it. Nobody who has a differing opinion is going to pick this book up anyway, so you're not teaching anybody new anything new. You're just patting yourself on the back and the readers on their own backs accordingly, and you're just beating a dead horse with these retired ideas. The art is stylized, it's busy, it's a personal preference. If you like Humberto Ramos' art, awesome, that's cool.
I do.
I'm not arguing it's bad art. It's not bad art. It's just stylized. It's up to your opinion. I will argue Mark Waid's writing is poor, but Humberto Ramos is at least doing a good job. It's just your opinion of whether or not you like that style. And before I get into my last point, what did you think of this issue and the arc as a whole?
All right. Issue number 6.
Okay.
Finally got shit rolling.
And
in a good way.
You liked the role?
Yeah. The freelancers, as far as how they're set up, are the opposite of the champions. Strictly in the sense of monetary gain. You're looking at the champions. Kamala Khan comes from a middle-class Muslim family. There's not really much, me not being a person, but Marvel being as racist as they are at times, I assume her family owns a shop of some form. Possibly one of them might be an educator in higher education to bring up to the level. Everyone in there is just kind of like this medium level person in which their socioeconomic gain is not that high. But if you look at the freelancers, each one of them, no matter what their initial state was, they're just getting money. As a matter of fact, in the issue, it's them betting money on whether or not the fear from one homeless person will beat the love/lust of another homeless person. And they can go from there.
Okay.
So, when it comes down to it, I can't judge things from this technically 5-issue arc in which in the trade they might include the Monsters Unleashed.
They're not.
It's just 5. It's just 5 fucking issues.
Issues 1 through 5.
Well, that's just fucking shitty.
It really is. It really is.
It's shitty. It's really fucking shitty. I mean, why would you go through this whole process of building up a team, getting things going, and then just placating? They're like, oh wait, no, they're the champions. They're going for all these socially economic views that we're going on right now that are going to make it so everyone else buys the fucking comic, and then just bring in this random group of antithesis people. That's bullshit. That's absolute fucking bullshit.
Here's the important question. Are you picking up Champion 7?
Fuck no. I have no reason to continue this arc. I really thought in the beginning of the drinking issues, this arc itself, this diverse collective of younger superheroes would, honestly, I really thought they would delve into kind of dealing with this everything the past couple of decades of superheroes have done with, as far as like, haha, we've saved the city. 3/4 are destroyed. But we save the city. Let's go back to Stark Tower for cocktails. I really thought that would be, or Champions would be, the antithesis of that. As of right now, it's really come down to we're still dealing with a flawed people, but we're going to supersede that and talk about the even more flawed people that are their opposite.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I had high hopes for this series. I was excited about the diverse cast of not only powers, but genders and races and everything. And it was a big miss where it easily could have been a hit. It's not doing it for me. I'm definitely dropping it as well.
Absolutely.
I cannot in good conscience recommend it to anyone. I was kind of hoping we would have a positive first arc to drinking issues, but unfortunately we do not.
Well, that is the, Mike, that's the gambit rerun with drinking issues. And I'm sorry, y'all. I just finished off the entire bomber
This is why we call the show Drinking
of 13
Issues.
ABV drinking issues.
So moving forward, starting next month, we will be reading the 5-issue miniseries Plastic.
Oh, we set it on plastic?
Yes, Plastic.
I like it.
Plastic by Image. Plastic is the story of a reformed serial killer. He meets a woman who catches his fancy, who helps quell his murderous urges. They go gallivanting across the U.S., enjoying each other's company and basically being happy until a Louisiana businessman captures his beloved, forcing him to go on a killing spree to get her back. Oh, and did we mention his beloved is a sex doll?
Plastic.
Kind of ploy-y, but we're curious to explore it. They could either really mess this up or really do cool things with a stupid concept.
Either way, it's Image, and we're reading it, and that is part of our drinking issues.
So we've wrapped up Champions. We've given you next month's story.
If you want to continue Champions, go right ahead. As a matter of fact, if you continue it and you want to let us know what happens to the rest of Champions, feel free to contact us at jacksoftradepodcast@gmail.com.
It's facebook.com/jackstradespod, at jackstradespod on Instagram and Twitter. You know where we are. Please go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, go to Google Play, whatever medium you listen to this podcast on, and please write a review. It really helps.
5 stars help the most.
know
Actually,
what?
no, fuck it. 4 stars.
Right.
Really helps pretty
Write
well.
whatever star review you want, but the reviews do help. Please love us. But the reviews help. It helps us get our name out there. It helps us get up on the searches for people. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to reach out to us, suggestions for guests for what we should read, whatever, you have the email, as Davis said, at jacksofttradespodcast@gmail.com. And we have been here, as always, in the studios of In-Depth Media.
In-depth media. That's right. Media so good, you need 3 dimensions.
I don't know if Greg would approve of that solicitation, but guess what? Greg's not here.
Yeah, he ain't.
I'm shutting this down before I or Davis disturb you anymore. I'm Mike.
And I'm Davis.
Adios.
Catch you later.